E.N.D here. Amass is the new mechanic in War of the Spark. It's a mechanic that it's a symbol to the army that Nicol Bolas have built on Amonkhet, and he have brought on Ravnica to fight the Gatewatch. What is Amass? This is a card that have been spoiled yesterday. Relentless Advances. Let's read what is Amass. This card has Amass 3. That means that you have to put 3+1/+1 counters on an army you control. If you don't control one, create a 0/0 black zombie army creature token first. Amass, it's always followed with a number. Therefore, every time that you amass, you will have a number here on your spell, and that means how many +1/+1 counters you have to put in play. This spell for Amass, when you play this particular spell goes on the stack. But the ability of creating the 0/0 token does not go on the spell. If you play Relentless Advance, it goes on the stack. If it's resolved, then in my case I don't control another creature, because I don't control an army creature, no another creature, even though there was a creature in play. Let's say we had a creature in play. If I had a creature in play, the +1/+1 counters, I cannot put them on Scrap Heap Scrounger, because Scrap Heap Scrounger is not an army. I have to have a creature type army. As Amass says, if you don't control an army, I can create one. I put my zombie army creature, and I put on my army creature the 3 and 3 +1/+1 counters. As you have seen, I have now an army creature, and I can play more Relentless Advances to put more counters on my army creature. So let's take another case. Let's play again Relentless Advances. I play again Relentless Advances. Now I control an army creature. Because I have an army creature in play, I don't get the option to put another army creature in play. No, you don't have that option. You have to put your 3 +1/+1 counters on the creature that you have already in play, if the creature is an army. Otherwise, you create your 0/0 token creature and you put the counters on it. At this stage, as I said, the opponent can interact. The opponent can bolt your zombie army creature because it's a 3/3. In that case, the creature dies and the counters are lost. But if the creature remains in play, you have to put your 3 +1/+1 counters on that army creature, and as you can see, your army creature will grow in size. Now it's a 6/6, it's a very strong, and it's able to do 6 damage. This is how Amass works. Amass gives you the opportunity to build your army. Your army is built with one creature. It continues to increase in size with more Amass +1/+1 counters on it. Now let's have another example. Let's say in play we have this card, Dreadhorde Invasion. It says at the beginning of your upkeep you lose 1 life and amass 1. Whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 and greater attacks, it gains lifelink until end of turn. Let's say we have this enchantment in play. At the beginning of my upkeep, I have to amass 1. My creature died, it's my upkeep. I have to amass one. My only creature in play is not an army, therefore I put the 0/0 token into play with the +1/+1 counter on it. At this stage, once I put the 0/0 token in play, the opponent cannot interact with this creature, because this creature has to come in play with the counters on it. He cannot shock this creature, he cannot destroy this creature, because you have to wait until the full spell, the full Amass resolves. The full Amass resolves with the token in play with the counters on it. At this stage, the opponent can shock your creature and the creature will die. But in this case, the creature remains alive. If the creature would come and play with the +3/+1/+1 counters, if the opponent shocks this creature will remain alive. As I said, the ability to put the counters on the 0/0 token creatures does not go on the stack. Because if this goes on the stack, that means that you have a 0/0 token creature in play, and this cannot remain in place because this has to be dead or along. The creature comes in play with 3/+1/+1 counters on it and remains in play with the 3 unless you have a way to remove the counters or spells to move the counters around. If this creature dies, at the beginning of my upkeep, I can put another 1 army creature. Let's say this creature didn't die, and it's again my upkeep. Because I have already an army creature in play, the +1/+1 counter, I have to put it on this army creature. I cannot put another token with a +1/+1 counter on it. No, I cannot do this. I have to put it on my army creature that I have already in place. You can have only 1 army creature, unless you have a way to put or gain another army token creature. There will be, I'm sure, spells that will give you more than 1 army creature. You can use a clone. You can use spells like mass manipulation to steal your opponent's army creature. If it happens that you control 2 army creatures or more, when you amass again, you have the option to choose on which army creature you are going to put your 1/+1/+1 counter. In this case, I'm choosing to put it on this army creature so that this will be a 2/2 army creature. If I play again, and remember the card I showed you first, Relentless Advances. If I play again Amass 3 from Relentless Advances, now I have 3/+1/+1 counters to put on 1 of my army creatures. I cannot distribute the 3/+1/+1 counters on my creatures. I have to choose if I put the 3 counters on this creature or on this creature. But I cannot put 2 on this and 1 on this. You cannot do that. You have to put your +1/+1 counters only on 1 army creature. In this case, I'm going to put it on this, so this will be a 5/5 army creature. This is how Amass works. This is a very nice tutorial for you to show you how this mechanic works. Here there is the subscribe button. Subscribe for my channel for more videos, more tutorials about Magic the Gathering and the collectible way.